everybody, to the Dire Bear Adventuring Company. It is Saturday night, which means we are back with the Stolen Cities.
I didn't steal no city.
Really getting me before I can even do the previously.
Sorry, had to be
Really
done.
getting me before I can even play like the Dragon Ball music while we get on the last time on Stolen Cities. Like, it's really coming in here and harshing my vibe, harshing my mellow, not picking up what I'm putting down. Or rather, picking up what I'm putting down, and instead of putting it back down, throwing it out the window. That, my friends, my comrades, is Ralakan, midlife crisis fish boy.
I will shut up now.
We have our great and wonderful repeat friend Maddie as Venolin. We have Tim, our shaggy buddy here with the puppets, as Cross. And Lucas as the lovable bucket of bolts, Jason. That is a tall drink right there. People call me a tall drink of water. Previously on the Stolen Cities, you guys had gotten to some sort of like R&R after Ralakan came to terms with the quite harrowing midlife crisis that he has significantly less time on this earth than he thought he would. After having some fun and securing yourself some lodgings for the night, you decided to do a little bit of investigation into sort of how things run around here. And you learned that the currency in this city is blood. It is literal blood. I don't know what else you expected from future vampire Manhattan in the sky. But our buddy Claude over at the Hotel Pennsylvania managed to hook you up with a sort of bit of a shady dealer who was able to take your gold. I am silencing my phone immediately! Who was able to take your gold and convert it into usable tender. In this case, 5 long vials of Eladrin blood, thought to be a rare delicacy and treasure here. However, in the midst of this, you guys learned that there are a startlingly low number of elves here on this island. And given the experiences you've had with elves on this island so far, which has been close to none, with the exception of Cross and a strange incident that you saw on the television, it has come across the party to investigate this unexpected absence. Whomstead of... I'm muting this fucking chat. Not you guys. You guys are all wonderful.
Silence is golden. Remember to silence your cell phones.
Duct tape is silver.
The movie's almost over and your cell phone rings. This is why we don't make movies. That was a joke from before the world ended.
Isn't it the M&Ms?
Yes!
I don't remember. I didn't go to movies. I legit never watch movies in theaters.
I took you to see Godzilla King of the Monsters with Andrew and nobody else. I don't want to hear the shit out of you.
Any.
It is getting to about... Yeah, it's a bit late afternoon right now in New Manhattan. The timer is at about 1 day, 16 hours. And that incident you guys heard about on the TV was last night. So, what is it that you guys would like to do to start this investigation?
Well, that we need to get as close as to. Excuse me, I'm having a stroke. Not really, but still. We need to get as close as possible to the investigation site, right?
Theoretically, yes.
So, onward.
What could possibly go wrong?
Why did you say that?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Everything.
So I guess we're going. What was it? At Bryant Park? Was where
Yes,
they arrested
Bryant
him?
Park is where they arrested him.
That's where the trees are.
Yes.
With any luck, you won't have another vision, but I don't think our luck's gonna hold it that good, Tim.
There's only so much vibranium. Okay, Maddie, shut up.
I wasn't even making an MCU reference.
I know.
Okay.
The
Don't worry
only
about it.
thing I want to hear from the trees are I, Am, and Groot. That's it. If they say anything else or start speaking Vietnamese, we're done.
Then I guess we're headed to Bryant Park.
Sounds like a good first order of business until that timer is up.
Okay. Fortunately, it seems like there's not too much to deal with on your way there. There's a bit of a heightened police presence in the blocks right before Bryant Park, but you get there pretty much without incident. Y'all aren't really up to anything. The humans that are around here don't really pay you any mind, and neither do the vampires. You're pretty much chilling. Some of them give Ralakan a few weird looks, but he's a fish boy. What are you gonna do? That's one more than any of the amount of elves you've seen up here. So there is a drastically increased police presence at Bryant Park compared to when you were here last, and it was pretty lax. There is an officer on every corner of the park, with a few doing patrols pretty much around the entire area. The entrance to the library is also covered by 4 armed guards. The bookstore is closed.
Now, it just looks like the officers are just kind of like on guard duty. It doesn't look like they're in the middle of any sort of bust or anything.
Yeah, they don't seem to be. Some of them do have some kinds of gear, like binoculars and other sorts of material, that would make you believe that they were like on the lookout for something. But most of them are either in pretty standard officer's gear, or in the case of the ones at the entrance to the library, they are like sort of brandishing some armaments.
seems strange that they would be armed at a library.
Well, they got a lot of books in there. Maybe they don't want to lose them. Collection like that must have taken at least a few years.
Especially since when according to that news report, the fellow just seemed to be drunk. This seems very...
Over the top.
From what I recall, he seemed to be saying obscenities about vampires. Though I do not recall any sort of act of violence. Strange.
Very strange. Well, Venelin will walk up to the officers and inquire as to what's happened.
Okay. There are 3 officers you can choose to approach. You can choose one of the corner officers, who seem to be just sort of like securing the perimeter, one of the patrol officers that are actually like walking through the park, or one of the library guards.
I guess I'll ask one of the patrol officers.
You sort of make your way kind of close to where Cross was having his little meditation, which is a little while behind that fountain. And you manage to flag down one of the patrol officers. It's like, yes, how can I help you?
I'm just curious. We were here just a little while ago, and it didn't seem like it was dangerous. Is everything all right?
The incident that occurred last night was a bit more volatile than reported.
Oh. Did anybody get hurt?
A few guards sustained some minor injuries, but there were no casualties or major injuries that require any disability.
Well, that's good to hear.
Fortunately, he's been apprehended and he's in custody.
Is this a common occurrence here?
Not particularly. This is only the second such occurrence that's happened in the past few weeks.
And it doesn't cause any sort of alarm amongst the city folk?
We try and contain these sorts of things as best we can and sort of avoid a panic from the general populace. The voice assists in that by, I suppose you would call it, curating a narrative.
Right. How much more volatile was it than what was reported?
I'm not sure any further discussion of the suspect is within my purview, ma'am.
Of course.
If anything, you're welcome to head to the castle and speak with the police chief.
castle?
I will make sure.
You know, the ones that you guys went to meet Vedran.
Vedran's castle.
Right.
Yeah,
Right,
Killed the guy.
Vedran's castle.
Killed the big guy.
Castle for Vedran. The castle where we went to kill Vedran.
No, I
Vedran's castle.
did not. I did not mention that. I did not open my mouth for that. No, I'm just like, wait, no castle. I mean, these buildings all look like castles to me, so whatever.
Nice save.
I am a fish. I normally live underwater, okay?
No, I believe the word you're looking for is I'm a disaster.
This is also correct.
Those
Like-
usually live in New Jersey, though.
My dude, you are just a disaster waiting to happen. Anyway, yeah, he's suggesting we go to the police chief to talk to him? Okay. That doesn't sound sus at all. I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name. Officer...
Really make a name every single NPC.
Who knows? This one specific officer might become a real character.
You know, as long as we don't start referring to him as kidnap.
Oh please. Oh please no. Last thing I need is Mike holding up a chain and just yelling slavery.
No slavery.
Oh my god. Name's Nichols.
It's
Officer. And he kind of like opens his coat slightly to show you his badge. And the last name says Nichols. And it's got like a badge number.
okay. Thanks, Officer Nichols. I'll be on my way.
He kind of gives you a soft nod, zips up his vest, and returns to patrol. Cross, while
help.
Cross, while this is going on, you're just kind of thoroughly eyeing that very alluring, loamy patch of soil. Ral, what are you doing while this is going on?
I'm not opening my mouth. I am behaving.
I don't believe it when it comes out of Maddie's mouth. I don't believe it out of you.
I'm taking stock of the surroundings, and I'm looking to see if there's any places that let me know.
When the
where
ranger
proper
says I'm
fish.
taking stock of my surroundings, I hear I'm looking for vantage points.
I'm taking stock because, okay, I am a fish person in a place where everything is several hundred meters taller than me, and all I want to do is either go fishing or go hunting. Does not look like that is the case here. I want to see if there's anything that can let me know that there's something that'll be a proper fishing or hunting activity that isn't Dave and fucking Buster's.
I don't know. Does the city still have a pigeon problem?
Yes.
Fuck.
Vampire pigeons. I'm all for this.
No. Normal pigeons.
Somehow
Even
that
the harpies
works.
could not rid New York of pigeons.
Somehow I would rather take vampire pigeons over regular pigeons.
Before the party leaves, Jason has been kind of like surveying the the area, like the drastically increased police force, and he's going to turn to Nichols and, sorry to bother you, Officer Nichols. I do have one other question, just out of my sheer curiosity. If this suspect has already been apprehended, why such a drastic increase of police at this location?
Like I told her, this is the second such occurrence in the past several weeks.
Has it been in the same area?
Yes, the exact same area, to be precise.
Interesting. Noted. Thank you very much, Officer Nichols. And he's going to turn his head back to the party. So, shall we go back to the castle and speak with the police chief? Wonderful.
So, do the two people not entranced by a patch of dirt hear this and want to respond to the lovable robot?
He's already leaving towards the castle. He saw Ralakan's thumbs up and is taking that as a yes.
Sorry, yes,
Veteran.
I also responded in the affirmative and then remembered that all of my stuff was muted because I was going to get up and get a drink and then people were doing stuff that actually was around Venelin. So,
You nerd!
yeah, so I'm going to go get my drink now and, yeah.
I'm going to gently shake Cross, just, hey, buddy, you right? Because he is still very much entranced by a patch of dirt that may or may not consume his soul. I don't know. It's dirt.
I suppose Cross is crouched down in front of it and just sort of like running his hand through the dirt.
Hey, be Cross. We're gonna go to the castle. You alright?
Yeah, I think so.
Is there anything you notice over at that spot you're at?
No, the ground here is very soft.
Interesting.
It reminds me of my favorite tree back in the woods down below. We've been to the tree before, remember?
Yes,
Yeah.
where the centipede crawled in the back of your neck.
The what did the what now?
You were at the tree, and I believe there was a centipede that crawled onto the back of your neck and disappeared there. It seemed to have communicated with you.
I think I would remember something like that.
Alex, was this the same place?
Yes.
Okay. Well, to be fair, you did seem like you were in a trance-like state, so you may not have quite remembered. Come to think of it. Would you be in such a trance-like state? Have you noticed anything of similar nature while you were here?
Well, I suppose I heard something when we were here in the park last time, and next thing I know, Venolin's leading me over to the library.
May I ask, what did you hear?
It felt like something was calling me.
Jason is going to march over to the loamy patch of soil and kind of do a 360 scout in the area to see if there's anything that would potentially be calling Cross.
You can see branches slowly rising from the soil as Cross reaches his hand out to it.
Nope. Nope, nope, no, no, no. Just gonna pull back
Those
further.
branches seem to be growing at quite a rapid pace. Fascinating.
Do they seem to follow Cross as
Yes,
Ralakan is
like as
pulling him back?
you see them kind of extend outward for a bit, and then the moment you get a certain distance away, they kind of retreat back into the dirt.
Out of curiosity, Jason is going to put his claw on the soil and see if it happens to him.
You're gonna put your claw on the soil, and you feel it shift for like a brief moment, but then immediately settle.
This only seems to happen. This only seems to react with Cross. Very curious. Are you aware of this phenomenon, Venolin?
I've seen it happen a couple times, but can't say I totally understand why it's happening.
Indeed. I can't seem to find any sort of reasoning or anything at all, quite frankly.
It's a little bit disconcerting. But, I want to say he hasn't been harmed by it yet. What did you see this time, Cross?
Nothing really too big, just maybe just like a soft little chime.
You
Well,
heard a chime or you saw one?
Heard one.
Strange.
While you were talking to that officer. And I just... It wasn't until Ralakan started nudging me that I realized I was sitting in front of this.
Do you usually lose time like that?
Well, I guess so, maybe? It's kind of hard for me to tell time.
I mean, you would recall if you had a gap in your memory, wouldn't you? In so much as you were in one place and then suddenly you were in another. With no recollection of how you got there.
few times. Maybe.
Well, I don't see.
Sometimes I fall asleep in one place and I end up in a completely different place. But then again, until I met you guys, all pretty much everywhere just seemed like the same place.
Fair enough.
Do you think there might be something wrong with me? Other than not remembering anything?
No, I don't think so.
Alright then. I wish I could tell you more, it's just... I don't know.
We'll figure it out when we figure it out. No need to rush something we don't understand. That's how people get hurt and harmed.
If there's anything I've learned throughout these travels together, it's that we're still all learning more about ourselves each day. So I do believe that in time you will find more about yourself.
Cross will give a smile. Right. I'm sure it's nothing to worry about.
I'm sure it'll all be fine. Shall we on to the police chief then?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Stood. And we head to the castle.
The castle, fortunately, is right across the street from the hotel. So how the fuck Rollican missed it, I don't know. But,
Don't you get me started, sir.
Now you will be careful there, mister. No, sir.
the castle is also under a police presence. However, it's pretty standard compared to when you first got there. There's maybe a couple more guards, but you know, it's the castle. It's kind of the homeboy's house. But eventually you get into the main floor of the castle, and there's a bunch of vampires on patrol, and as usual, there's a desk agent. Little nice looking woman. She's kind of looking all prim and proper, got her glasses on, pouring through what looks like a very large schedule.
Ma'am, would it be possible to get in to see the police chief about the disturbance? It was yesterday, right?
Oh, that disturbance. Hang on. And she kind of like moves this one large scheduling book to the side and pulls up another smaller scheduling book. This was he should be free. Take the elevator to the 7th floor. That should be the library. It's usually when he spends his free time when he's not out doing what he does.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Got it. Okay. So you guys take the elevator to the 7th floor, and this library is sprawling. It looks like it might cover the entire floor, and it is less a library than what looks like a repository of old artifacts. Venelin, you recognize a record player. That's kind of like sitting there all nice and looking good. However, at the end, kind of in front of a table with like 5 books around him, is a man not necessarily wearing his gear. His gear is kind of strewn all over different chairs across this table. And he's just kind of like in a sort of like t-shirt. And he's still got his like cargo pants on that would have his like belt and everything. But he seems to be very much on his break right now. So, who sent you up here?
I believe she's your secretary.
Yeah. What can I do you for? Something going on I didn't know about?
Well, we're looking for some more information about the disturbance.
Forgive me, we're not exactly in the business of letting everybody and their mother know what's going on with our investigations.
Oh, of course, I understand. However, this seems like it might be right up our alley, so we figured...
What, you bounty hunters or something?
Or something.
Well, unless y'all are experts on extraplanar travel, I doubt your area of expertise will be super helpful here. No offense to any of you.
I mean, I'm lightly familiar. Can't say I've done any myself, but familiar enough.
Son is scanning the library for any books on extraplanar travel.
Jason's about to
You
become an
find
expert.
that you find that the police chief seems to have been trying to read several books on extraplanar travel, which are strewn across the table right now. And given the positions of his various bookmarks, it does not look like he has gotten very far without thinking, what the fuck am I reading here? Okay. I'll give you some adjacent information, since without Lord Vedranir, I don't know what aspects of the investigation are privileged and what ain't. Essentially, something you probably would have gathered since you've been here a few days, is that pretty much all travel between the island and the surface world is monitored. There's only 2 places to port from anywhere on this island, and to our knowledge, there's only 2 places to port from within close proximity on the surface. One of which y'all disabled before you came here.
Right.
Which means that however these 2 elves got in, had to have been using some kind of planar magic that we don't have access to.
That's kind of another question. we were a little bit curious about why are there no elves?
The elves went into hiding during the aversion. Most of them retreated back to the Feywilds, where most of them originated from. Retreated to the safety of the Fey courts and all that such nonsense. Very few of them actually decided to remain here. So you'll see the occasional high elf, maybe even a couple wood elves out here, but outside of that, you're not seeing many. And most of them have gone and had kids with humans or turned into vampires themselves, so just ain't too many around. Most of them Avlans.
Said 2. The report said there was only 1 arrest made.
Yeah, we had a similar incident with another one about 2 weeks ago, something like that.
What were they saying exactly?
Well, this one was really talkative, talking about how vampires are a disgrace to the natural order of life and that everybody here is an aberration needing purging from this plane of existence.
That's just not nice.
But the first one ain't said a word, not to anybody. Only time they said anything was when Lord Vedran stopped by and proposed a trial by combat, which y'all showing up kinda spontaneously postponed.
Apologies.
And what would this trial by combat entail?
Real simple. Big guy fights him.
Big guy, you mean Jason or somebody else?
The guy we just arrested, we don't know anything about him. He's wearing a big feck-off suit of armor. Anybody tries to get it off of him, they get their arms bitten off.
I'm sorry, bitten off?
Bitten, cleaved, ripped. He's ridiculously strong. But it's the only resistance he puts up since we apprehended him. Other than that, sits in his room, watches the sun go up, watches the sun come down. Barely eats, barely sleeps.
All right. Would I be able to talk to him? He might respond better to one of his kind.
You know, until Lord Veterans gets back, I'm not really. I'm not sure I'm privileged to allow you access without permission from Lord Veteran.
You're the chief of police. I feel like this would fall directly underneath your purview. I mean, aren't you in charge of...
Roll me a persuasion check.
Oh boy, okay. I don't know if I'm very good at this.
You don't know if you.
Fake it till you make it.
Right?
I believe in you. Don't give up.
I'm glad you do. You said
Don't give
persuasion?
up. Fuck.
Oh, I actually took expertise in persuasion. Let's go.
You do the talk good.
I do the talk good. Why do
And
you think
you
I do
doubted
90% of the talking in the party?
And you doubted yourself. Was
Looks
that
like
a
a,
nat
that
20?
looks like a 20 face.
Nat 20 for a total of 27.
Huzzah!
I'm not sure I should be giving out this kind of information. After all, it's not for the civilian public. Please? Alright.
See, this is what happens when you act nicely. Manners. This is such a rarity these days.
Hey, you want to give me money to find India by going around back of the world? No, please, no, please, no, please, no, please. So then he sailed around back of the world. For those of you not initiated, please check out Bill Wirtz. He's a national fucking treasure. He begrudgingly takes all his books, closes them up on their bookmarks. They're all bookmarked only like between 10 and 20 pages in. And they're all some pretty big books. Puts them all on the corner. Puts on his officer's jacket. Puts on his vest over it. Come with me. And he takes you all into an elevator to the second floor, which appears to be just a big old set of lockboxes.
Ralph so desperately wants to say something, but he will still keep his mouth shut.
And he kind of gently walks you guys down to cell number 3 and sort of slams it a couple of times. Goes, you got a visitor. You want to get something out of him, you be my guest. He just starts walking back towards the elevator and just sort of sits at a desk with one of the 5 books.
Okay. I'm assuming the door is locked. Or is
The
it
door
me
is
opening?
locked. There is like a sliding eye hole thing where you can look inside.
Okay.
And there's like a sliding door where you could like slide in a tray of food. But beyond that, you cannot see in.
Okay. Alright. Alright, I didn't think I was gonna get this far.
Glad you're honest about it.
Which is like the story of our life with this party, honestly.
You ever
Does a
wonder why
thing
we're here?
I didn't think we were gonna get this far. Okay, then, alright, I will slide the eye area open to look in.
Okay. This person is massive. They stand taller than Jason does now. And mind you, Jason, in Rage, when he extends, gets to be about 7.5 feet tall. And this guy's taller. He is in a hulking suit of this dazzling silver armor beset with green along the ends of it. And adorned on a chair at the edge of the room is this long crimson cloak lined at the collar with what look like various black furs, and you can almost think you see bones at the end. Their hands are just sort of gently clasped behind their back as they're just sort of looking out the window.
Out the window of their cell, I'm assuming.
Yep. Not towards you, the opposite direction.
Yeah.
Hello?
They are unresponsive.
I guess he doesn't like fish.
I'm going to attempt to speak in Elvish to
Go
him
ahead.
and ask him what his name is.
Their head cocks to the side at the mention of their native tongue. They sort of gently turn around. Kind of disappointed that the aisle thing is the only thing he can see through. But seeing your eyes and seeing your ears, they reply, "My name is Redwing, captain of the Artemisians."
What are you doing here?
What someone of my stature is fit to do, and waiting.
So you're here to fight.
Believe me, when the time comes, there will not be much of a fight.
I mean, that's fair. I can't say I'm entirely surprised.
We've been given a charge, and once we've fulfilled it, this face will fall from the sky like the stone it was.
And what charge was it that you were given?
One of the great Fey courts has lost something. A great treasure to them that they have tasked us with obtaining and returning.
What treasure is that?
I suppose our leader knows. I'll be sure to ask him when he arrives.
Your leader.
Hmm.
And who is this mysterious leader?
You'll know soon enough. That's quite the presence near you. She seems to be sort of swaying their head slightly around you. As though they can sense that you're not only can they sense that you're not alone, but they can detect some kind of latent magic near you.
What sort of presence are you referring to?
There's a bright light somewhere around you. And it's not you.
I don't know if I should be insulted or not.
But there's a shroud around it as though something is trying to conceal its presence. Regardless, I harbor no ill will towards my own kind. Should you surrender your Confederates, I can guarantee you quick and painless deaths.
My Confederates.
Yes, those of you who through your actions and your inactions, through your condoning of this debauchery, have enabled this living, flying affront to life to remain here, unmolested.
And you seem to think that I have anything at all to do with them?
You're here. I hear you collude with their officials. I
No.
hear you make
No.
deals with them and negotiations with them as though they were your equals.
I make deals with them because it keeps me alive. You don't survive just by having enemies. Especially when I will admit that I am not as big as you. I have other ways, and I have to have other ways to survive. It's the only way. It doesn't mean that I'm wrong.
On one thing we agree. You don't survive by having enemies. You survive by crushing them and obliterating them down to the last cell.
Now, see, I don't disagree with you. However, you must also know the right time to strike. Otherwise, you wouldn't be biding your time.
You are almost sure that they are smiling under their helmet. By now, Thornmaw has escaped his imprisonment.
He would be the one that was spouting all sorts of what they're calling crazy nonsense.
I'm sure he is. He's one of the more fanatical of us, alongside our leader.
Are you here just to kill the vampires, or are you also here to kill anybody else that's up here?
Once we've fulfilled our charge, this city will fall, and everyone in it. We will march upon that abomination that the Vampire Lord uses to keep this place suspended, and we will destroy it. Whomst the fuck keeps messaging me?
And, who or when is your leader arriving? Since I would prefer not to still be on this rock when you decide to send it crashing to the ground.
What's the time, I say now? I can't see it from my cell.
What did the time say before we came in here? DM, sir?
A day, 12 hours.
1 day, 12 hours. Last I checked.
Then I guess that'll be it then.
So your leader is going to show up the day that Vedran is supposed to come back.
just sort of gently nods and turns back towards the window.
Great.
Seems like a great guy.
That doesn't fill me with just absolute abject fear.
No, swell stand-up personality. Mother.
Alright, well, if he's done talking to me, then I will close the eye slider.
Venelin, if you were to roll me a history check.
That's a total of an 8.
Oof. That cloak is quite a striking visage that you seem to remember from some studies that your parents gave you, though it's something vague. You know that it's magical, but you don't quite remember its origins.
Okay. She's going to attempt to rack her brain on that one, but will kind of just turn to the rest of the party. We might need to go check on the second one. Because I do believe he may have escaped.
That's not a good thing.
No, it's not. And I now have more questions than answers, and I don't like it.
Kind of quickly aside to Venlin, and Ral will whisper, "Think we can get access to the top floor where a veteran is, maybe?"
I don't know.
Would be problematic if so.
I think at this point, we need to just realize that we can't trust anybody. Which, of course, should surprise nobody.
It does not compute with Jason, who trusts everybody.
What happens to the everything that is below the island when it falls?
My only guess is it's probably destroyed. Along with everything else. This is not an ideal situation. We're not in a good spot.
Mm.
But I'm unsure as to how we're either going to A, get out of here, or B, just make it out of here alive. We need to get a move on. I want to find out if he's actually escaped like this guy said he did.
Understood.
Right.
Here, he talked to you.
Yes.
What'd you get out of him?
Not much useful, but we might need to go check you're the prisoner.
What about him?
He may have escaped.
And he's taking off to the elevator.
Run behind him, I guess?
Right?
Yep.
Just perfectly 90-degree angle running. You may not like it, but this is peak running position.
4th floor, laundry detergent, toiletries, and escape prisoners.
See, there's a problem. You're gonna have laundry detergent with escaped prisoners. Who knows what they can drink?
Does Ralakan do knee lifts? Like the high knee lifts? Oh, Deco, I didn't want to think about that, but thanks for that. That's peak right there.
Yeah, it's just so you know how like when you're running, you're like the peak physical form is your arm just goes up in 90 degrees. Like you just have like it is 100%. Ral has done track and field style running, but you know for a fact Ral has never for a fucking second done track and field in his life. So he just accidentally has peak physical running form.
Accidental.
I'm Quap!
I mean, where's the lie?
There is no lie. Ral is Quap, canon, confirmed. Ral is Quap speedrun.
Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ.
Okay, so we're in the elevator with the chief, whose name we should probably not get at some point.
You guys take the elevator down, and he immediately grabs a phone off the receptionist's desk and immediately dials something. Who the fuck? Oh. Everything's fine. And he goes, Price, it's Lawson. I need you to check on the asset. What do you mean? And he slams the phone into its receiver with enough force to break it.
Well, now I think that might have been a little unnecessary.
Sir, I believe we broke the phone.
What else did he say?
What do you mean?
I mean, what else did he say? What else did he give you?
He's here to fight. Not sure what, not sure who, but he's here to fight. He's here to kill people.
Well, yeah, he challenged the Lord to trial by combat, and that's the only reason he's not dead, but...
He wasn't going to talk to you because nobody talked to him in Elvish.
How the hell? You've got every book in this plane under the sun. He wants to speak this age-old language nobody speaks anymore.
Venolin's just gonna cuss this guy out in Elvish.
Ral's just gonna casually flex and ask where the bathroom is in Vidalcan.
Doesn't Cross know Elvish?
Cross knows Elvish and Sylvan.
Cross knows exactly what she's saying, and it is not pleasant.
No.
Jason relays the directions to the bathrooms, also in Vidalcan.
Just casually flexing multilingual skills.
While this police chief is just like, these motherfuckers don't speak American.
Just I will fake Jason in Primordial. Why do I know Primordial? I don't know.
Understand? Please repeat that.
Oh man.
Fucking nobody speaks Primordial.
No,
Might as well have fucking taken wingdings.
But,
Like, how do you fucking...
but I switched from Elvish to Abyssal.
What? Oh, do I know Abyssal? I don't. I know Deep Speech and Undercommon.
Why do you know deep speech?
I'm a fish! I can swim in deep! I think Deep Speech would be useful in deep water!
That's
That's okay.
Deep speech is not Maokai. As
It's okay.
deep
because-
speech is not Nautilus. We're just no. Deep speech is warbly warbly. I see dead people. Deep speech is fucking. Deep speech is fucking how you speak to Sayako before she chokes you with her hair.
Chat has my back! Chat has my back! Technically not wrong, depending on how deep you go.
Fucking
6 feet deep.
Oh, it's okay, because I'll flex one more language as I start speaking Undercommon.
Yo!
I hate it here.
I honestly didn't know where Jason was made, so when I made him, I just chose Gnomish and Vidalcan, knowing that they are like technologically savvy. So it's just like pre-programmed languages in there.
Good choice.
I thought this was America!
Oh,
Jason,
Yes.
you can understand Elvish, though you cannot speak it.
Oh god. So casual language flex aside.
yep.
Yes, the other inmate has escaped.
Then you have a problem. And it sounds like you need some bounty hunters.
Is there any
Wait, what?
of forced escape?
What was that?
Is there any signs of forced escape? Or did he just seem to disappear from the cell?
It looked like he disappeared at first, but they found a hole outside the station, despite there being no hole in his cell.
I'm getting Artemis Fowl vibes off of this, and I don't know if I like it.
I've never read Artemis Fowl.
That is a tragedy. It was a good book series.
Funnily enough, I read The Supernaturalist, which was like another one of Owen Colfer's books that was supposed to be like adjacent to it, but I don't know how.
It is a tragedy that you have not read Artemis Fowl, because it's really good.
Damn, I guess I gotta read Artemis Fowl now.
I know. I
What?
forgot you don't read.
Shut.
Oh yeah. Every time it comes around and does something, you are not incorrect. You are not incorrect. Oh,
I
wait!
forced the DM to take a shot. Oh, you know what? My fucking night's complete.
I hate it here.
Yeah, no, you
love
don't.
us?
I love it.
You love us just as much as I love freaking Reese's peanut butter cups. I ate a whole goddamn bag today. I think I overdid it.
You may have overdid it.
Kristen,
You're not allergic to those, are you?
Not anymore.
do you
Good.
know how long it's been since I've had Reese's?
One of them was for you.
I think we should probably get back on track, though.
It's been
Oh god, redeemed appreciation, the lore keeper.
I What was party appreciation? Do we all have to say something nice about each other? Or was it just you guys have to say something nice about me? I don't remember.
Choose any player/DM and they will give a compliment to the rest of the table.
Ah, wonderful.
Oh,
Great.
Aw.
I will wait until after session.
Aw.
That's probably smart because I have a feeling that the answer is going to change because of what we are about to do.
Yes, yes. I love how insufferable every single one of you is in your own way.
Yeah, you say that, and yet I'm still pretty sure that you love every single second of this.
Of course, in order to be somebody like me, you have to be a very special kind of masochist.
Ain't that a mood?
okay, moving on.
Do it. Alright, moving on.
So, yeah, Alex,
Uh-huh.
she did basically call out the captain of the guard and just, yeah, so... So you need a bounty hunter to go find somebody? Sounds like you need our particular brand of, skills.
How much do you want?
Well, do you want him alive or dead?
Preferably alive. Dead works, because dead means not a threat.
Okay.
But preferably alive.
Stood.
We're on it. If you'll direct us to where he escaped from.
And please provide a description of who we might be looking for.
I'll get you there now to not waste any time. And he walks you through a hallway behind the elevator into what looks like a small kind of closety room. However, once it opens up, you guys can see what looks like a large ritual circle in the center of this room. Get in, it'll take you to the other facility.
Thank you.
He sort of pulls what looks like a small blood vial out of one of his cargo pants pockets, breaks it, and spills it over the circle, and it immediately erupts in a flash of red light. And you guys are automatically swooped into another small room with a large ritual circle. And it looks like whoever was in charge of that room did not expect you guys to be here. It's like, you ain't Captain Lawson?
No, we were sent by the captain. We're here to track down your fugitive.
Oh, wonderful. In that case, better get you right and deputized real quick. I'm gonna need last names from all you.
Dontar.
You? And he kind of like looks at the fish man.
Dominic.
Dominic?
It was the only thing that came to mind, I'll be perfectly honest with you.
Ralakan doesn't have a last name.
No, he does not.
Relican sounds like a good last name.
Ralakan sounds like a
Ralakan Dominic. I like it. Rolls off the tongue.
And Dominique.
No. No. You're not going with that. We're not going down that route, okay?
No, we'll just have a Final Fantasy VII episode where we need to get into a bar.
Ral is not cross-dressing.
People can barely tell what gender you are anyway.
Fair enough.
You're a fish man. You got like Voldemort nose. What are you trying to...
What do you
Who
mean?
got Voldemort? No.
You're just jealous because I could breathe underwater and you
Oh
can't.
my god.
Freaking land breather.
You've only got like 20 more years left to breathe, period. Shut the fuck up.
I mean, you didn't have to be so harsh.
Take me from this mortal coil.
You know,
No, I'm not fire resistant. I'm gonna need a burn heal.
fucking Ralakan out here, fucking favorite pizza Sabaro head ass.
Excuse you.
Okay. You guys are led through the rest of the facility up until you guys reach a cell that looks completely normal. The stone that makes up the floor looks completely undisturbed. Cross Venolin, both of you roll me Arcana checks.
Okay. That's a 7.
That's a 5.
Oh. That's a ungreat. Both of you can like feel some latent magic somewhere in this room, but it's not really common to either of you. Is everybody entering the room, or just
Yes.
you two?
I'll be entering.
Okie dokie. You guys get in one after the other, with Venelin going in first, then Cross, then Ral, then Jason. And Jason, as you enter and your foot kind of makes that thud on the ground, you guys suddenly hear a faint shift in the rock.
Can we identify where it's coming from?
That depends. You guys can all roll me a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, wonderful.
Fuck.
I'm great at that.
I mean, I say that, but
22.
I'm the rogue, so...
I'm not great at that. I'm really not great at that. That's a 5.
What'd you roll, Spaz?
22.
Huh?
25.
Huh?
23?
Jason doesn't even move.
The rest of you all kind of jump to the corners of the room the moment you hear the shift in the rock, where Jason just drops like a rock about 15 feet. Taking, where's my dice tray?
We interrupt this
Just
episode.
vibing.
Jason is just vibing. Just vibing indeed, Becca.
We interrupt this episode of Stolen Cities to bring you an episode of Hogan's Heroes.
And Jason, you take 9 points of fall damage as you just kind of bonk into the ground, and then are hit with a bunch of falling rocks for another 2 damage, so 11 in total.
Oh dear. Well, that was not expected. Is there...
Jason?
I
From
am...
here, you can immediately see, Jason, that there is kind of like a very small, slim tunnel that seems to have been dug slowly outside from here.
I do believe I have found the way that the convict has escaped. There seems to be a small tunnel here.
What are your passive insights, guys that didn't fall?
Insight or
yeah.
perception? I mean,
Usually you
either
guys have, like,
way,
a passive
either way,
insight.
I have 11 across the board.
Oof.
Yeah.
My passive insight is 16.
I have a 11 insight, 14 perception.
Cross, you are pretty confident that that latent magic that you felt might have been the spell Mold Earth. That this person might have used it to dig his way out and then conceal the fact that he dug his way out. Or rather, leave his method of doing so largely unknown.
I feel like we might be dealing with someone who knows a lot of earth magics.
Well, that's not good on a floating city. Alright. We better get a move on. Venelin is just going to jump down. Carefully, mind you.
Y'all kind of slide down now that you can see how this goes. And you too get down there and see how the tunnel kind of just curves its way slowly back upwards.
I know Cross asked, but I may have missed the answer. Jason, are you okay?
I am fine. I should be able to buff out some of these debts, but I will be okay. Thank you very much for your consideration. He then kind of shrinks down to more of the compact-sized JSON, so he could traverse the small tunnel.
Right. I guess we should keep going then. Nice to hear you're okay, Jason.
Thank you very much. We should go.
Alright, so what do we find in the tunnel? Mr. DM man.
Or does it just lead directly outside of the jail?
It does lead directly outside. However, in the tunnel, you find what looks like a quarterstaff. It kind of hums gently in your hand. It feels as though it once had magic running through it, but that magic has drained.
Neat.
Um, I want to pick it up, but I know I shouldn't.
That means you should pick it up.
I don't want to be the dumb person of the party anymore. I want to have brains, but fuck it, we're picking up the glowing stick.
Okay.
The stick just kind of hums gently. It doesn't seem particularly special. It looks like it has been drained of its magic, and it was just kind of like gently planted in the ground down there.
Okay,
It kind of just smells like dirt.
I will carry the dirt stick with me. Call it the dirty stick.
And as you guys kind of like crawl your way back to the surface through the hole that goes outside, the rest of the officers are kind of just like, the hell did you get out here?
Well,
There was a hole in the cell.
who let him in with a staff?
Nobody that we knew.
Well,
We searched.
Wait. I kind of like wave around the dirty stick.
well,
As
then,
soon as they see the dirty stick, they try and grab it from you, being that would be evidence.
Take it!
They seem to use some earth magic. I think it's the mold earth spell. And they covered up their escape tunnel.
They are all muttering various obscenities, kind of being it can kind of be whittled down to fuck elves.
Well, now I'm just offended.
I am also moderately offended.
Well, that's just rude.
And they kind of give you the varying platitudes boiling down to, y'all are fine, you're the good ones.
That
Doesn't make it better.
Yeah, no, you're not going to get much nuance out of these guys. Most of them have been alive like 3 times your lifespans. Actually, no, not your lifespans. Your elves.
You know,
maybe,
maybe they have the right idea about,
yes,
getting rid of all the vampires and
why do you
trashing
think
the
I've been
island.
killing them the entire time? Come on now.
Yeah. I mean, totally the reason that we're not just flat out slaughtering them is because we're horribly outnumbered right now.
Yes, like I said to the guy, it's sometimes you just have to pick the right moment to strike. Now is not the right moment.
I still need to send 2 punk kids straight to God.
You're still on that shit about sending 2 punk kids to God.
Yeah, those punk kids made us look bad. Made us look like absolute fools. They gotta go, man.
They ruined our reputation.
Before
They
we
really
could
said,
even get...
yeah, you can get a bacon, egg, and cheese over here, and then they got a bacon, egg, and cheese, and it was cake.
Bruh.
Spaz, that sounds like a story that I want to hear later and not during session.
No, I'm just making a reference like, yeah, let's go hunting. Oh yeah, you can go hunting over here, Dave and Buster's.
To be fair, they were teenagers. I'm not sure we could blame them. They still a pair of punk-ass kids.
But hey, it got us free tickets to a hotel.
And it did also technically send us where we could go hunting. It just wasn't the hunting we were thinking. Because we're from below, and we don't have that down there.
We're lucky if we have electricity, let alone internet.
I want to point out that because of their misdirection for us, we managed to locate shelter for the evening.
Maybe... For your health, your death shall be quick and painless!
Pretty much, yeah.
I like to see if there was some sort of trail left by the elves when they were escaping.
Now that's what I'm talking about.
That's survival.
Yes.
Okay. That's an 18.
You sort of feel around and sort of like extend your astral self outward gently, and you find kind of like a dirt trail, which feels a lot like, they burrowed their way out of here and they're leaving a trail of dirt behind. And it seems to be headed north rather than south.
North?
Uh-huh. There's not much further north this place gets. There's only like a couple of more blocks north of Times Square on the island.
North. I think they went that way. As Cross kind of points in that direction. Now it's time whether or not the party wants to take direction from the blanket.
Huh.
Jason trusts you. He's going.
You said we were headed that way. You found the trail. Let's go.
Okay.
And now to give the guards another reason to hate elves.
Cross,
Mhm.
please roll me a perception check.
Okay.
I need to know if you know what north is.
That is a good point.
Well, he can see with his astral self projection, can't he?
Now I can, yes.
So then.
But I have to spend key points to do that.
Ah. Oh, okay. Never mind that. Disregard.
However, I do have a 24 on my perception check.
Okay then.
Why is the blind monk a better tracker than the ranger?
The ranger didn't try.
Why
I
is the
think
blind
that
monk
might
a better
speak-
tracker than the ranger? I rolled a 13.
Now you don't have any excuse. Why would you just discredit yourself like that?
Because it's Christian and Ralakan, and he can't help
Man's
himself.
really used mold earth to dig his own grave.
No, he's not
You-
incompetent, he's just not trying. No, I tried to.
You
horribly
fucking
failed.
unseasoned tempura.
Are you gonna call me overcooked sushi next?
No.
Depends on that.
I'm sorry, I'm having a moment now because I'm like 90% sure you're not supposed to cook sushi.
You hard-boiled salmon.
Wait!
Anyway, we're following Cross.
You-
With a 24, I hope to fuck knows where north is.
That was a 24 perception?
Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, you know where north is. And you start leading the party north. And you guys find yourselves at like the very edge of the island. In fact, there's a small little promenade on this side of the edge where you can see a sign that says Columbus Circle. However, following the dirt trail leads you a bit further eastward. And as you guys go a couple of more blocks east, you find yourselves in one last, very small wooded area, overlooking yet another water fountain. And the trail seems to end underneath an old oak tree behind the fountain, with yet another very alluring patch of soil for Cross to look at.
Cross will slowly approach the patch of soil again.
The moment you do, same thing. the branches slowly reach out to sort of take your hand as you reach out to it.
Happening again? Yeah. Fascinating.
Now,
Let it happen.
Stood.
I'm just gonna grab on to Cross, just like, I'm gonna follow him. If it takes him somewhere.
Sure, let it happen. He's somehow managed to get information every other time he's done it, so I think it would be in our best interest.
Okay.
Sure.
It was
I
a great
mean,
idea.
it has.
It's gonna be good.
No, you're right. You're right. This is the only way to get to the root of the problem.
So we're being grabbed by branches and we're trying to get to the root of the problem. I'd like to know that is the pun that you made. Accidental, but nonetheless, you created that.
God damn it, Mike.
I just felt Alex's soul leave his body.
Did I make that pun?
No.
No? Was that Alex?
No, that was me.
Oh, that was you!
What, Tim?
I felt Alex's soul leave the body.
The worst part is it wasn't even intentional. Like...
Oh, it wasn't.
Spaz, please check your DMs.
What was that G4 before? Now I'm G5.
I hate it here. I hate all of you. You've all been corrupted by the scourge of Mike. Mike, if you're here, one of you needs to clip this and send it to Mike. If you're here, this is what you have wrought upon this party.
It's not
These
even
people-
in the party.
These people.
What
These
do the
people
branches do?
have brought.
Okay, that wasn't even my fault this time. You can't even be mad at me.
What did the branches do?
As the branches kind of like wrap themselves around like your ankles a little bit, you kind of feel the sort of gentle impulse to
Sit down.
yes. To sit down and relax.
Okay.
Cross, I am going to give you a choice. Will you follow the branches?
What do you mean follow the branches?
As you sit down and enter a meditative pose, you can feel yourself starting to kind of like not completely sink, but you can feel the dirt kind of rising a little bit around you.
Well, I guess at this point, since the party seems to encourage it, and it might lead to answers, I guess Cross will follow them.
As Cross slumps forward, you guys can sort of feel this faint magic hovering, like just over his shoulders. And Venelin, having finally seen this before the last time y'all got in a fight, you are pretty sure this is Cross's astral form. It seems to still be here. It's called psychic damage. Thank you, Deca.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. You champion. Cross, you find yourself in this old, decrepit wood. You find yourself emerging from the dirt underneath a cracked, shattered oak tree. A large, heaving gash straight down the middle, as though poised to split the thing in half, yet somehow held together despite the passage of time. This wood is full of much similar trees, all mutilated in some way or another by some entity with 1,000 screaming talons. However, in front of you stand 2 men. One of which is covered in old furs and pelts and smells of old fertile earth. The other, you can hear their armor clanking around as they sort of pace back and forth. But you can't really get a read on them specifically. Everybody outside, you guys can see Cross's astral form now, as its arms kind of reach out to you guys.
Right.
Jigsaw reaches back.
Thank you, Jason. Cross, you're still kind of like muggy, as though waking up from a long nap, so you can kind of just barely make out what they're saying. They're saying something kind of akin to, pull him out, pull him out. It's like, I can't. He's projected, he's not really here. went to all this trouble to bring him here, and he didn't actually come. And finally, the one in the armor you can hear him kneeling down in front of you. And Jason, as you grab the astral hand, you suddenly find yourself similarly transported here. Though it seems from their reactions, or lack thereof, that they cannot see you.
This is rather interesting. Am I?
Conan, is that you? You can feel an armored hand sort of clasp gently at your shoulder.
Huh?
On my shoulder or across the shoulder?
Across the shoulder.
Makes sense.
I'm sorry? Who were you talking to, sir?
Conan, it's Kieran. The guardsman. Farron's here. Remember?
No, I don't. What? What's going on here?
Farron, what they do to him. I don't know. I haven't been in any contact. Listen. I need you to go to where the connection is strongest, and I need you to get back on this side alone.
What? Why?
But your parents have been looking for you. You've been gone for weeks.
Cross kind of starts shaking a bit and starts trying to move away from this person.
Roll me a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. Let's see here.
You got good wisdom. You're a monk.
You're right. 21.
What?
21.
The moment his hand begins to kind of tighten on your shoulder, you immediately begin to withdraw. And in that instant, both you and Jason find yourselves back under the oak tree.
Oh. That was interesting. Ross, do you know of this place?
No, I don't. What?
They seem to have referred to you as someone else by name. Out of character, I forgot what the name was. Yeah.
Conan.
Conan.
Uh-huh.
Seems they have referred to you, at least mistaken you, for somebody by the name of Conan.
I don't remember anything like that. They said I was been gone for weeks. that I need to find where the connection is strongest and go back to their side.
Be your help.
I don't remember anything. I think the elf that broke out of the jail cell was there too.
Hmm.
He smelled like the soil that we've been tracking.
We're going to have to. So, if we're going to want to get in touch with this convict, I guess we will have to find a place where the source is the strongest. Perhaps you can discover more about yourself while you're there as well.
Maybe? Something about that place seemed wrong. I don't know.
And I'm so glad.
I-
Wait, if I may ask.
felt like something was skittering. And the way that stale wind cut through some of the trees there.
So, indeed. It is definitely a place that I have never encountered in my experience before. Sorry. Go ahead, Carl.
Does the name Kieran mean anything to you, Venelin? Ralakan?
Which name?
Kierdran.
Kieran.
Kieran.
Karen. Does it?
Can-
I don't recall having written that down in my notes.
Mm-mm. It wouldn't.
He sounded like he was wearing heavy armor and he was the captain of the guard of something.
Heavy armor. As in silver? Heavy armor?
Might have been silver?
Tofgif.
With a well, I mean he was in the other spot. He said he could actually see and has a description. Didn't you?
Fair.
That not
Oh yeah,
am
that's
I
right. You can
mistaken?
see in your
Fair.
astral form.
Fair. Right.
That's right. Yeah, no, yeah. So yeah, you can actually describe him, and
Right.
yes,
Yeah.
very
sorry.
much that.
Sorry.
Uh-huh.
The only,
With a red cape, with black fur, possibly some bones on the cape.
he was actually not wearing a cape.
Okay.
Okay.
However, definitely in a set of silver armor.
Does the description match the guy that was locked in the cells in the police station?
Very similar, though not wearing a helmet.
Okay.
They were talking about how they were trying to lure me there.
Well, now that doesn't sound ominous at all.
The forest there, it's not like the forest here. It was dark. The trees were dead. And I even suspect that the dirt there might be mixed with ash. There's something wrong there.
Hmm.
Before I spotted the soft spot, I think the trail goes to that hole over there. As he points towards one of the trees.
We'll go inspect the area.
Cross, you can sense a strong latent magic there that you can link directly to the pelted man that you saw in the other plane. You're pretty sure he was able to transport himself from this plane to that one from there.
What do you think we should do?
Is there a way that you can bring us with you?
Well, if I could bring Jason with me in that projection they were calling, I suppose I might be able to lead us there. Maybe through that tunnel. Maybe? I'm not sure. I've never done this before. Not that I know of, at least.
Well, what could it hurt to try?
There could be potentially many ways of hurting ourselves trying, but I say we go for it either way.
Thank you, Jason. You adorable, adorable man.
Okay. Cross will go to the hole in the tree and start inspecting it.
Hmm. It contains, as always, anytime Cross inspects a tree, a loamy patch of soil which you feel like you could interface with.
Press F to interface with soil.
Press E to interact with soil. You pressed your hand into it, and you can feel the branches wrapping around your fingers as though another hand intertwining with yours. You can feel two opposing forces. One of them appears to be trying to pull you in one direction that on this plane just feels like left, while another feels as though it's pulling you to the right. With the one on the left feeling much more consistent with the pelted man that you just met, and the one on the right feeling a bit warmer, more less wooded, less alone.
Well, that's not very comforting. Well, Cross is going to try and focus on the man he just met and try to focus on that.
Oh. Okay.
If the goal is to get to where they were, I would suppose focusing on that would be the case.
Fair enough. You lean leftward, and you feel yourself actively being pulled into the dirt. Will anyone take Cross's hand?
Raoul kind of feels responsible for the kid, bringing him with him.
Yeah. Trauma buddies.
Uncle Raoul.
Uncle Ral. That's adorable.
It's fitting. I'm the crazy uncle no one likes to hear for extended periods of time, but shows up once a week, just long enough to be enjoyable.
Barnacle Uncle.
Thanks, Grunkle Stan.
Grunkle Stan.
Thanks, Bare Knuckle Barnacle.
If Ral is putting out his hands to go down with him, Jason will also grab it. If not, Jason will ask, "Would you care for me to accompany you?"
If but we're all supposed to be going, right?
Yes.
Good. And he will grab on.
You guys kind of like link up in a little monkey chain. As you guys are all successfully, one after the other, brought into the dirt. And it only covers you for a moment before each of you rise out of your own patch of soil underneath a tree in this ruined wood. It is surprisingly warm, despite the state of it looking just absolutely bereft of a life. And the two men seem genuinely surprised to see more than one of you emerging.
Forgot about the alone part. Forgot about the alone part. Was too scared, forgot about the alone part.
No, you heard alone and said, I'm going to go the other way.
Yeah.
And while the pelted man immediately reaches for Cross, the man in the armor sort of looks haggardly at each of you like, what did you do to him?
We found him like this.
What sort of hideous aberration do you purport to me?
That's just hurtful.
And considering the fact that we're the ones who have been keeping him alive, it's not our fault you lost him. And besides, who the hell are you? And Venelin has interposed herself between Cross and whoever the hell was reaching for Cross. Because, no. Do not.
My name is Kieran Halloran.
Oh, that's
I am
what we
the-
were supposed to try and find out.
I am the leader of the Artemisians. An ancient militia of great warriors of the Fey House of Chaos. We were contracted by the prince's parents to return him to his rightful place.
Venelin just glances over her shoulder. Your royalty? Okay.
And when we found out that he was wandering through a city full of aberrations, all of them undoubtedly itching to sink their fangs into him, I decided to take some initiative. In 2 days' time, we'll be leading an assault on the island.
Regardless of the innocents that are there or the innocents that are below the island when it falls.
Those on the island have capitulated to the aberrations. They are not... they are not those we would attribute to the cause.
And below?
They are not ours. Resigned to tiny, insignificant existence under the heel of their aberrant overlords.
Venelin is gonna turn to Ralcan and she's gonna speak in Undercommon. Do you think we can take them?
You cut off there for me.
Do
What was
you
that?
think we can take them?
I
Apologies.
ain't got
What
much.
was that?
Also in Undercommon, I ain't got much long to live. I'm willing to die fight.
Venelin and Ralakan are quickly conversing in Undercommon.
I like to think that Undercommon is just backwards English.
Pig Latin.
We're Edingay the Uckfey out of fury.
Oh,
I this is who the fuck sends the Court of Chaos to go look for their children?
your parents didn't think that one through, my dude.
That's a logical choice.
Skulls for the Skull Throne! Blood for the Blood God! Prince for the royalty!
We tracked him here to the Shadowwood, but we lost the scent until just recently. Conan, you didn't find yourself in a library, did you?
I recall a library, yes.
late. And he immediately grabs the pelted man and just starts kind of shaking him. He took him. What am I to do here? I can't return you to your parents in this state.
How many are in the room as we speak?
It is just the four of you and those two.
We could take
Do
two.
I have a rock? I need to check my inventory. Do I have a rock?
Oh my god.
No, I don't.
Throw the JSaw at him.
What do you need the rock for?
I'll just casually draw a bomb on it.
I mean, you're talking to somebody who I'm 90% sure I took the burglar's kit.
I
could hand you a ball bearing.
I would very much appreciate that. I'm going to almost complete a bomb.
Killer Queen has already touched that ball bearing.
You said you can't take me home, but you were supposed to? Now I'm just even more confused.
That person you found in the library has taken something from you, and we need to get it back.
I don't remember a person in the library.
You may have found something else. A feather, a centipede, a book, anything like that.
My friends say that there's a centipede that burrowed into the back of my neck.
I did see that one time he was at an oak tree.
And I do have a book, but Cross will reach into his satchel and pull out the little leather-bound book that he got.
Kieran immediately steps forward and just swipes it out of your hand and starts flipping through it rapidly. Good, you haven't written anything yet.
The hell is that book?
This is a cursed artifact given to him by a particularly nasty creature.
Well, given the fact that you guys want to blow up an entire under-civilization that doesn't even realize that there is a top one, mainly just for existing, I'm gonna assume that you guys may not be the judges of what is or is not nasty.
Would you consider a millennia-old centipede hundreds of miles long that survives off of the souls of the innocent nasty?
Touche, I'll stop talking. That still jerks, though.
Its library is somewhere beneath all of this death, and despite hundreds of years of life, we've made no headway into finding it. We believe that only one touched by him could find it properly.
I don't like the sound of that.
So, let's hypothetically say that Cross was touched by this centipedal entity. I am aware that centipedal is not a word. It's staying. It's canon. Fuck it. Centipedal is now a word. This centipedal entity. How would we go about locating said creature so that a deal could be struck to get back what was taken?
Words are not things, weapons. It's not something that can be reasoned with by the likes of mortals.
Oh. And yet there's a city full of aberrations down there that are nigh on immortal. That could probably help.
I am not immortal. May I reason with it?
Jason, you fit like
Slow turn to Jason.
you fit like the dictionary definition of something that should not be sentient. You are literally a giant hunk of metal shaped like a friend.
You are the epitome of unnatural being.
Oh,
A giant hunk of metal shaped like a
shaped like a
friend.
friend.
Which I suppose is better
That's
than being a
kind of
giant
friend.
slab of iron that doesn't look like it should be cutting anything.
And yet it does.
And yet it does. Also, I have to ask, if you're agents of the Court of Chaos, how in the hells did you get captured? By an incompetent police force who let a civilian interrogate their prisoner in a language they didn't understand.
In what way did you look at Captain Redwing and think that she was captured?
I mean, being placed in a cell tends to do that, and the implication therein.
But you really aren't too far along in your lifespan, are you? You've been living on the surface world. Read the Art of War or something.
Venelin, in undercomment to Ralikant, can I kill them now?
I'll follow suit if you will. Also an undercomment. I've got 45 arrows and I'm willing to use them all on this asshole. Man, it's getting on my nerves.
I mean, her too. Read The Art of War. I think that was in my father's libraries. I can't say that it was something I particularly read. I was a little bit too busy learning things in the shadows.
Well, one of the principal rules espoused by, surface people was that of knowing thy enemy. Captain Redwing and my friend Thornmore here were sent out there with that express purpose. And in 2 days' time, when I lead my assault on that place, the Vampire Lord will not have an army at his side.
Just out of curiosity, when during the day are you planning to attack?
You really don't expect me to monologue here about my entire evil plan, do you?
You don't think I trust the vampires, do you?
You're the one palling around with them.
Gods, I told your Captain Redwing the same thing. Sometimes you have to make deals with those that you are not happy to make deals with so that you don't die. And you can continue to live and fight another day. But of course, I forgot. If you go to a Fae court, you're automatically better than everybody else. With no thought as to how you could have helped those you left behind.
They made their beds.
Some of us didn't have a choice. Either way, you don't get to take Cross? Because I don't trust you. And you clearly haven't been doing a very good job of tracking him down if it took you this long to find him. He was wandering in those woods for weeks.
Yeah, we saved him.
Conan is coming with us and returning to his parents.
Now, see, he's told us his name is Cross, and it seems rather convenient that you show up, say he's royalty. This sounds like something a teenage girl would dream up while she's stuck under a cupboard in the stairs.
Guys, read Harriet Potter.
Harriet Potter!
The biggest fuck you to J.K. Rowling since her own Community.
Oh, please, she did it to herself.
Oh god, she
She
totally
really
did it to
did.
herself. But I mean, that's a teenage girl fantasy. Getting having a country secret service show up and be like, "You're a long lost princess, sent away for your own protection." Like, I will admit, I had those fantasies when I was a teenager.
Fam, did you just half describe the plot of the Secret Society of Second-Born Royals?
Yep.
I hate it.
Didn't you say I was broken? That I can't go back?
End of the day, once we I forgot about that. I forgot about Princess Diaries. Anne Hathaway was there, wasn't she?
Yeah. Thank you.
Or-
Thank you for reminding me of the Princess Diaries. You're right, that is actually literally the plot of the Princess Diaries.
Not gonna lie, I almost confused it with Ella Enchanted. Which...
Similar, but not quite.
Love that movie, though. That movie? Great movie.
Anyway, you're not taking him because, one, he's not broken. Nothing wrong with him besides a little amnesia.
Nothing
And,
wrong with him.
Blindness.
No, that's not a... Why do you people keep thinking that's a problem?
Well, you saw how great he was at Duck Hunt. Now imagine if he could actually see.
I feel like he would be worse if he could actually see.
Touche.
I don't know. I was able to follow that dirt trail.
You did a wonderful job, Cross.
There's
Well,
nothing
that's
wrong
not-
with him being blind. The amnesia's a problem. Either way, you're not taking him. And, well, as much as I would like to say you can do it over my dead body, you're not going to kill me, so...
And Kieran reaches his hand behind his back and pulls out what looks like a javelin.
Mm-hmm.
And sort of like...
Alex, for the record, I just wanted to point out, if they haven't been paying attention, her shadow's not attached to her feet. Her shadow's on the other side of the room. So if he's going to attack her, she's going to disappear. That's her held action, is if she's going to attack, if he's going to attack her, she's gone. Because she's going to just walk to her shadow.
Ral will hawk a nice big loogie of acid.
So anyway, you were saying he pulls out a spear?
He pulls out a javelin and kind of like weighs it a bit in his arm and then gets it into a throwing sort of pose. He goes, "You want to bet?"
I do.
Shit. Shit. Shit.
For the record, we do have 10 minutes before 10 o'clock, so this might be
Yep,
a
and
good
that's
spot
why
to call
I
it.
was going to say that we are going to stop here with our initiative beginning next week.
Boy,
Oh, boyo.
I do not like this asshole.
this is gonna be great.
Oh, man, it's going to be great. It's going to be amazing.
We're gonna be fine. Gonna be fine.
That's fine. Kieran Halloran 1v4 is the party.
So, if your plan is to goad him into attacking you while standing in front of me, and then teleporting away, leaving me completely exposed to his attack. Am
The
I getting
planet
this
is
right?
on fire behind you as we say that.
This is how we protect Cross.
See, I'm pretty sure this is the exact same thing that happened at the end of that one Overwatch cinematic.
You mean the widow one? With
Yup.
Tracer? Okay, but, to be fair, you are a monk.
Of course I was prepping up the Fleck missile, of course! That doesn't make it right!
It's fine. I'll just spit an acid loogie at the spear while it's being thrown at you.
Oh man. Okay. So before I sign us off.
You still have to say nice
Oh
things.
yeah. Shut the hell up, Spaz. Oh my lord. You motherfucker. Oh lord. Venelin, you are one of the most wholesome edgelords I have ever met in my entire life. This is the way! Jason, you are somehow baby robot Yoda. And I'm okay with that. I'm so okay with that. You are a tiny killing machine. And I love it. Continue.
A tiny, giant hunk of metal killing machine.
Shaped like a friend.
Shaped like a friend.
Shaped like a friend.
A hulk of metal shaped like a friend. Cross, you're just such an innocent cinnamon roll. I love everything about it. You're just trying your best. And sometimes that is all any of us can do. And it deserves all of the respect and the love and admiration the world has to offer. Ralakan, I love the fact that in 16 to 18 years, when your body is bereft of life, that it will eventually be turned into useful sustenance for the rest of the group. They will dine on delicious tempura and sushi for several days before making use of your bones to make arrows, knives, needles, and other such
No part of you will go to
useful
waste.
devices. No part of you will go to waste, otherwise it'll be murder.
But we could use the fish oil to grease Jason's cogs and everything.
Yes.
Somehow I don't think this is Vampire Fist President coming.
Ralakan, I thoroughly enjoy that no part of your body will go to waste when you die.
I
you
somehow
are-
don't think this is a nice thing. Can I get a mulligan on this?
Rolled a 4, no mulligans, sorry. Your teeth will make beautiful arrowheads.
Oh my god.
And with that, we're gonna sign off for tonight. As always, first off, I would like to thank our sponsors. First off, D&D Beyond. That is D, the letter N, D, Beyond.com. A massive repository for all things 5th edition with a sprawling homebrew compendium for you to both browse and contribute to for a small subscription fee. We did use its overlay for quite a long time before transitioning to slobs. As well as Lucky Dice Cafe and Liquor Express. If you find yourselves in the Huntsville, Alabama area and want to have some great live tabletop fun times, particularly with our head DM Heath, please head to either of those 2 locations and book an appointment. Speaking of our head DM Heath, our next live day will be Monday, where Heath hosts the Troubleshooters, a wonderful little campaign set in the roaring 1920s. Not these 20s. Thank God! On Tuesday, we have The World at War, a system I have never heard of that sounds very interesting and also like a Call of Duty game. But it's a good Call of Duty game, so I'll tolerate it. If it's those roaring 20s, I hope there are dragons. Me too, man. Me too. Wednesdays, our buddy Maddie over here participates in a nice fun game of Monster of the Week. You guys didn't convene last week, did you?
No,
Did
we
you?
did. We did.
Oh, you did. So where are you guys at?
We're taking a trip to hell.
Nice.
Oh! Na wunderbar!
Our the incubus and the party is taking
baby.
us on a trip to hell to go see his daddy, and oh boy, my
Wonderful.
pararomantic guide is not gonna be happy.
Make sure to pants Hitler while you're there.
I have made a note of it. If we can fit it in, I will.
And speaking of going to hell, Maddie on Thursdays DMs Descent into Avernus. Where in the meat grinder are they now?
The Bleeding Citadel. They're about to get their hands on the Sword of Zariel. We didn't have session last week because I realized there was a lot more prep to do for the session than I was expecting. So that's tomorrow's task. But that's on Thursday.
Oh boy.
Yeah, you know, I'm just
I hope they
breaking my
also make
my
sure to
players
cancel it.
because it's fun.
Wonderful. Abuse them. It'll be fine. And next week, we will be right back with the Stolen Cities, as this party comes face to face with the leader and lieutenant of the Artemisians, Kieran Halloran and Farron Thornmaw. As always, everybody, thank you so much for coming, and please remember, wear your mask, wash your hands, be kind to one another, and roar for initiative. Have a good night.